It's designed to do carbon dioxide removal from the atmosphere, but it leverages the size and scale of the oceans, which, as we know, make up about 70% of the Earth's surface. The process needs only electricity, rock, and seawater to function. This is something that we wanted to focus on because we thought simplicity and the use of materials that are available in abundance is important. So calcium carbonate, which is limestone, contains carbon dioxide within it, held in the form of a solid.
So is it going to turn into a solid at some point, or is the plan just keep it like that?
No, so you want to have something which is a fine slurry. While doing carbon dioxide removal from the atmosphere, it produces hydrogen as a co-product. So the production of hydrogen is important because it allows you to have access to a green fuel.
In our laboratory, we can accomplish this in something that's about the size of a few hundred milliliters. All of the scales needed to go from our lab scale to our commercial scale.
We're essentially taking carbon dioxide from the air and turning it into a solid. We're also stabilizing it in the form of aqueous, what are known as bicarbonate ions that sort of hang out in water. And this gives you a really durable storage mechanism by which you can store carbon dioxide on periods of time that are geologically relevant. We will need on the order of about 10,000 plants at a scale of 1 million tons of carbon removal each per year. We've had an incredible ability to do things that are pretty unprecedented every time we put our minds to it. So when you think about the fact that this is not a science challenge, but it's an engineering and manufacturing challenge, I think it's fundamentally all realizable.
And in that case, they're using electricity. And that's just a reminder that all of these activities in one way or another are going to require some energy to basically alter the natural state of these chemical reactions, these buffering reactions, and alter them in one way or another, and then remove that carbon from the atmosphere by doing that. But those energy requirements, compared with the overall costs to society of having that carbon up in the atmosphere, that energy may be worth it. And that's one of the things that our group studies is how much energy is needed, and ultimately what does that mean for the climate. We have to keep our eyes on the ball, that ultimately what matters here is scale. And so there's a world of difference between individual projects that are testing ideas. You have to do that at a smaller scale. And then ultimately, how quickly can these scale up to be highly material to slowing climate change? And quite often, novel ideas take a while to improve, for people to get familiar with them, for the regulatory system to catch up. And all that slows down the scaling process. And that's something we have to keep an eye on. These are not get out of jail free cards. Almost all these ideas also have side effects. And we just don't really know what the side effects are going to be. And we also don't know how the public's going to react to some of this stuff. You know, we are in effect messing with nature. We're already messing with nature with climate change. So we're messing with nature in a different way. And the public often reacts to that in adverse ways. And that's we'll start to see some of that as different ideas are tested in the field.